YouTube, welcome back to our channel. It's T here, and I just want to say thank you for guys for being patient with us while we deal with being sick and mourning. I feel a lot better now. S is still a little sick, but she'll be okay. So yeah, I thought I'd come back and give you guys another story time. You ready? Let's do it. But before we get into this story time, if you have not watched my series about D, please go back and watch those videos first because those stories lead into this one. So this story time is going to be about the time that I was a side chick. I actually didn't know I was one, but we're just going to call this story about the time I was side chick because I technically was one. So we're going to call this guy Frank. And Frank was a basketball player. Mind you, now I'm a cheerleader. And we did not know of each other. We knew of each other, but we never had conversations before. And now this is both of our senior year. We ended up being in a senior yearbook class, which is an elective. And me and him started having conversations in class, and we became really cool. And there was a girl on the cheerleading team. Her name is, we're going to call her Kate. And Kate would talk about him all the time, and say how they were together and everything. So, I would bring it up in conversations with Frank, like, what's up with you and Kate? And he would tell me they used to go together, but they're no longer together. They're just friends. She's just a bugaboo. She follows me around. She's a little crazy. And mind you, me and Kate aren't friends. We're more so associates. But again, we're just put together because we're on a cheerleading team. So you got to be kind of cool with the girls you're with. So he would just play her out like she was crazy and she was just on him all the time. And in a small instance, I could see where he was saying it because she had little quirky things about her. I can't explain it, but it was just like little quirky things about her that I could see why he would say some of the stuff he said. So that was it. So now, mind you, at this point now, I'm finally trying to get over D and move on to something else. So when I got his number, or we exchanged numbers, I wasn't thinking of anything other than to be friends. Like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I just came out of one that was pretty toxic. So I'm just looking to be cool with somebody. So we exchanged numbers, and that's just how that went. Okay, so now we have exchanged numbers and we're talking on the phone. We become kind of cool, and then our friendship kind of turned into friends with benefits, or today's words, entanglement. We just led into a sexual relationship, and we kept it a secret because even still to this day, I'm a private person. I've always been that way. Even with me and D, we were private as well. Like, our relationship wasn't really known around the school, and I wanted to do the same with this situation because it was a weird situation. So yeah, it was just a fun situationship. It was very spontaneous. We just had a good time together. He was an asshole for the most part. Like, he was an asshole to everyone, because if you've ever met a jock, then you know that they just think they're like the shit. Like, they're the best thing ever walking on this earth. And he was one of them, because at our school, if you were a good sports player, you kind of ran the school for the most part. And he knew this and took advantage of that. So anyways, that's just how he was. So leading into, we had a game. Mind you, at this point, Kate is starting to wonder about me and him. And I don't know how, but I guess she started peeping things. Us women can be very inquisitive. So she just started seeing things, but she didn't have any confirmation. So at this particular game, he played that night. We won the game. At this point, we're winning all our games because we were 3 times champs at our high school while I was there for sure. So we won the game, and I remember us going back to the bus to get on our bus to go back home like we normally do. And I remember looking over to the side, looking out the window, and I see Frank hugging and then kissing this girl. Mind you, he never told me about this girl. He didn't have no reason to, because it, I mean, like I said, we're in an entanglement, so there's no reason for you to tell me anything, right? But I feel like as friends and us having conversations about different things, you could have just, said something about it, but whatever. So I see them hugging and kissing or whatever, and I'm like, oh wow, who's who's this person? Because I thought you were with Kate, or Kate was on your nuts or whatever. So it was just surprising to see him with another girl. So of course I did not care about this girl, didn't care about anything because it had nothing to do with me. But I wanted to know for my own personal reasons. I just want to know what he was hiding also. So we're gonna call this girl Jessica. So he tells me about Jessica and how they go together and she goes to another school. This is now when I realize I'm the side chick. So he tells me about her and everything. She did not go to our school. She went to a whole completely different school. And I asked him if Kate knew about her, and he said no. But that eventually did change. So when all this happened, I don't even know if Kate had saw this same thing that I saw, but Kate eventually found out about Jessica. And it's pretty funny because they ended up beefing on social media. And I was very entertained by it. So I would go on their different pages and look at what they were saying to each other, because now they know about each other. And you know, I guess Kate still thought that her and Frank were in a relationship, and they may have well been in one. And even still to this day, I don't know. But he was definitely claiming Jessica. So this is where everything turns to. So we had our last game before we went to the championship game. We were there, we cheered, they won the game. We were undefeated that year. It was a great game. So we were going back to the stands and we were waiting for our bus to get there. So at this point, I'm just sitting there with my best friends. And then Kate asked me to use my phone to call someone, which is funny too because her best friend was there and I don't know why she couldn't use her phone, but I wasn't thinking anything of it. So Kate uses my phone. I let her use my phone and she was looking in it, and then I realized that she was looking through our messages, me and Frank's messages. So I'm telling my best friends, I'm like, okay, now she knows. Like, it's out. Now she knows. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I text him, because mind you, it's after the game or whatever, and they're waiting on their bus too, but they're back in the locker room. So I text him and I'm like, hey, she went through my phone. She knows about us now. It's, I guess it's just time to confess or whatever. So we get on the bus. She's all in her feelings. She's looking sad and mopey and depressed and everything. So at this point, now you know about me and him. Like I said, he told me they weren't in a relationship. So I was like, I get it. I understand. I'm willing to have a woman to woman conversation with you. So I asked her while we were sitting on the bus, I said, hey, you want to have a conversation about this? I'll tell you everything you want to know, because at this point, you got your confirmation that you needed. I'm willing to go ahead and confess everything. Like, I just don't care anymore. And I asked her, and this girl, she told me no. She didn't want to know anything. She didn't want to be bothered with any of it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Then I'm good on my end. So I tried. I don't even know why someone would say no. You know, like, if you want to know all the information, who better to get it from than me? Because if you talk to him, of course, Frank is going to lie about everything, but I'm willing to tell you the truth, put it on the table, and get it over with. So after she says no, I'm like, okay, then it is what it is. I did my part. I remember him texting me, telling me that she was hitting him up, asking a bunch of questions and stuff. And I had told him that I had already asked her if she wanted to know everything and that she didn't. And we had a conversation about it because, like I said, me and him are cool at this point. We're friends or whatnot. So we already had our communication going. So when she said she didn't want to know, I left it alone. After that, I guess we were no longer cool. Then eventually his other girlfriend that he actually was claiming, Jessica, she found out about me as well. I don't know how. I don't even know if Kate said something, but now Jessica knows about me. So when they both find out about me, this is the craziest thing to me. Still till this day, I still think he's like the best player ever. Not like player in the game, like basketball, but the player in life. Because when both these girls found out about me, instead of them being mad at each other because they're both his quote unquote girlfriends, they decided to be mad at me and be best friends with each other. So it's so crazy. I get on social media now, these girls are hanging out together. They're the best of friends now, posting pictures. And I'm like, that is so crazy because both of y'all were his girlfriends. And you're mad at me? I'm the side chick who didn't know, but I'm the side chick, and now y'all are both best friends hanging out while he's probably still messing with the both of you. It's so insane to me. So on social media, they both would kind of like post about me subliminally. They would do the same with him, and it just was a crazy situation to go through. I think I continued to mess with him for a little while longer, and then after a while, I just was over it. This whole situation was just a mess to me. But we did kind of continue to mess with each other until our senior year was over because, again, I was never, like, if I had sex with you, I was going to continue to have sex with you until I could no longer have sex with you, because I did not want to just be a girl out here running around in these streets. So we continued to mess around throughout the rest of our senior year. And I'm going to leave it at that because me and Frank's story leads into my next situation. So, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. And wait on my next video about the next person and how me and Frank ended up ending off our situation and everything. And again, thank you guys so much for being patient with us. I'm very appreciative. I'm very appreciative of the 400 subscribers that we have so far, and be looking out for the blooper videos that we have coming up next. Bye, guys.